Hi everyone, it's Peggy Merwin with Stamp with Peggy. Little Facebook Live problems tonight, and we didn't have any sound. That's what I sounded like. So thank you all for who were trying to join me and couldn't. We'll do it this way. I'll do a video of the projects and then I'll get that posted on Facebook. If I can't do that, I'll at least post the link to a YouTube video so that you can see them. We are doing three 4th of July projects. I gave you a sneak peek of one using a wooden, a wooden arrow that I got at the dollar store. Those of you that are local to me, I bought everything that Woodstock had, so there aren't any more. I actually picked up a couple other ones too. So I have a limited supply of the arrows. And then we are doing a candy treat holder, of course, and then a 4th of July card that really can be used for birthdays in the month of July also. Okay, so we're going to do 3 projects. I'm going to try to make it quick for you. The special that I had going is if you place a $35 order with me between now and 7 o'clock Wednesday night, June 23rd, I will mail you the kit to make these 3 projects, and I will try to get it out in the mail before the end of this week so that you have time to be able to get the projects done and on display in your home for the 4th of July. Okay, so we're going to keep it short and sweet as much as I can, and I'm going to turn the camera down so that you can see my work surface and not my face. All right, so close your eyes for a minute while we do this. Okay, here we go. Here's the host code for your $35 order. Use this when you place it, and like I said, I will mail you a kit of the 3 projects that we're doing. First, I want to show you these fun little bees. You guys know that the bee is part of my little logo, and one of my stampers, Sandy, gave me these fun little bees. My ladies have been gifting me with some really cute bees lately, so I decided we would put them out on display with us today. Okay, so again, we're going to do 3 projects. Here is the first card. It's kind of a pinwheel quilt. It's been a long time since I made one of these and decided it was a good one to be able to kind of get rolling again. Okay, so we're using on this one Poppy Parade for the red, because the designer paper, I used the Brights designer paper, which is Pacific Point and Poppy Parade. And so that's what I used for my base. Okay, so we have a 5.5 by 8.5, scored at 4 1/4. So we're just going to fold the base in half. We're going to use our bone folder to give a nice, good, crisp crease. Okay. And then we have Pacific Point that is 4 by 5 1/4. And then a basic white that is 3 7/8 by 5 1/8. We are going to use the Pacific Point ink. And the stamp set that I am using is Create with Friends. It's in the annual catalog. It's got some nice big images or greetings, fun font, and then some words to go along with it. So we're just going to stamp Let's Celebrate on this card. Like I said, it works great for a birthday card then. You can send it to someone for 4th of July. All right, and we're just going to go at the bottom here. And then we're going to use the Let's. Come on. And we're going to stamp that right above the Celebrate. And then we're going to scoot this out of the way so we don't get ink on everything else. Okay, so then we can go ahead and adhere this onto the Poppy Parade base. For those of you who have not joined me before, the little clue when your seal does not want to move, just put it on your silicone mat and it rolls it. You don't get your fingers all goopy and sticky. Works great. Okay, and so we have just a small border. We're sticking that onto there. And then we're going to put our adhesive onto the back and attach our card, attach it right to our card front. Okay, there's our first step. Then we have 2 squares of Pacific Point that are both 2 5/8 by 2 5/8. Okay, we are going to line this up on our grid paper so that we know this is square. And then I'm going to put adhesive all over my grid paper. How's that? Okay, I'm going to put adhesive in a plus sign across there because we are going to stick it onto here. And if you use the grid paper, you can get everything even. Right here we've got 2 1/2. Over here we've got 2 1/2. Okay. All right, so right here we are at 2 1/2, 2 1/2. We might be a little high. Let's see if we can't scoot it just a little bit. There we go. Now they're adhered together. Okay. So now we're going to take, we have 4 Pacific Point and 4 Poppy Parade 1 1/4 inch squares. All right, so we're going to start with 1. Doesn't matter which color. We are going to put adhesive just in the corner. We're not covering the whole thing. Okay, this does not have adhesive on it. This right here does. And so we're going to take that and we're going to stick it right onto there. And then we're going to do the same with the red one. We're just going to, let's get this over here. Put adhesive in the corner, and then you're just going to stick it onto this next corner. So it's overlapping, but it's not adhered down. And then we're going to do the blue, and we're going to go around with that. Same thing, we're loose there. And then the red. Then the blue. And I'm going to turn this. And then the red. And then the blue. Okay, and now we have 1 space left. And so we are going to take the red one. And again, we're just going to put adhesive in that top corner. And then we are slipping this. Whoops. What have I got quite right here? Let's see, I want to go this way. All right. And we're going to have to lift this one a little bit. I got a little too much adhesive there. We're going to stick that red one down. We're sliding it underneath the other blue one. Okay. And so it's loose all the way around. Right there. Okay. There's our pinwheel. All right. And then I used the Stitched Stars dies, and I cut out a basic white star and a Pacific Point star. I love that it's got all the little stitching, so it fits really well like a quilt. And so we are going to put adhesive on the Pacific Point and stick it onto the basic white. And then we're going to stick this right over the center. All right, and so our star goes on just like that. Okay. And so then we're going to bring our card back in here and find my dimensionals, because you know that's what we need to do. Okay. And you guys know I like lots of dimensionals. I want to make sure this does not fall. I want all the areas nice and firm. Okay, we're taking the backings off. And then we're just going to stick that to our card. And ta-da! Look at how cute that is. Like I said, Let's Celebrate works great for birthdays or for really any occasion at all. Okay, so there's your card project. Then you guys know me, there always has to be a treat of some kind, right? And I just realized I forgot my scissors. All right, give me a minute here. Okay, so we have this with the little star cutouts. Happy Day. So again, works for 4th of July, but it doesn't have to be. It can be for any occasion. I put a little ribbon here. That's kind of like your pull tab that opens, and there's a Ghirardelli chocolate inside. Now, your kit will not have the Ghirardelli. We know our temperatures go 65 degrees to 90 degrees. I don't want it to melt in the mail, and it will. So you can put whatever you want inside of it, but you will get all of the cardstock and stuff so that you can assemble it. You will have to use whatever you want for a stamp because I can't stamp the images for you. But let's go ahead and make that. And these are really quick. They would be great for favors for 4th of July, but they would also be really good for birthday favors, bridal showers. Okay, we have a 2 3/4 by 11 inch piece of cardstock, and it is scored at 2 3/4. Let me make sure. Yes, 2 3/4 and 3 inches, and then again at 6 7/8 and 7 1/8. I will put all these measurements with your kit or post it on the video. Okay, so you're just going to fold it on all of the score lines. The short side, let me think. Yes, the short side is on the right. Okay. All right, and then we have a piece of real red cardstock, a piece of crumb cake cardstock. Okay, we're going to adhere the crumb cake to the real red, but before we do that, you have a piece of ribbon. You're going to fold the ribbon in half, and you're going to attach it to the crumb cake, leaving, and you have plenty. You know, I never want to short you on that. So you're just making like a little pull tab on the back side, and then you're going to go ahead and stick that onto the real red. All right, and then we have 3 strips that are 7/8 wide by 2 1/8. And then again, I used the stitched stars, the teeny tiny little star, and I cut out a little star on each one. Okay, so we are going to use dimensionals to attach these 3 strips over to the crumb cake. Okay, oops. All right, let's get those backings peeled off. You can get 3 of these out of 1 sheet of cardstock, so it's inexpensive to make. Okay, I'm dropping it down just a little bit from the top, and then I'm going to put the blue one on, and I'm kind of evening it, dropping it down a little bit from the top, side to side about the same, And then we're going to fit the white one right down in there. Okay. All right. Then we have a strip that is 3/8 of an inch by 2 1/8. We're going to get our stamp pad in here again, Pacific Point, and it's out of the same stamp set, Create with Friends. We are going to stamp Happy Day. Well, I didn't get that centered very well. Let's try it again. Okay, let's come to the left a little bit. Happy Day. There we go. Okay, let's get rid of the stamp pad. Then I'm going to take my paper snips and I'm just going to snip a banner. Okay, and we're going to snip the banner. Get rid of that. We're going to adhere that onto a piece of 1/2 inch Pacific Point. And then we're going to banner cut those ends also. Okay, so I like to make it longer so that we've got room. And then we're just going to banner cut those ends. Let's get that out of there. And then we're just going to adhere that down flat onto here. We are going to take our candy and we're going to attach it with mini glue dots on the inside. So let's get our pick tool out here, and I find the glue dots are the easiest to work with when I'm attaching little candies and things. You can pretty much use any type of adhesive. I just find this is kind of the fastest. All right, let's get that out of the way. So we're going to stick that in here. Remember, your short side is on the right. Okay, our candy's stuck. So we are going to, we're going to attach this piece with dimensionals onto the larger, but our dimensionals are only going down the left side. Okay, you don't want it anyplace else because you want it to freely be able to open that. So I'm just going to put a line of them, and I did 4 of them on my sample. Again, I wanted to make sure that that held really strong. And so let's take our backings off. And then we're just centering that onto this flap. And then we can lift it with our ribbon and tuck that in. And we want to finish it off with some red rhinestones. Okay, so let's put the lid on our pick tool. And we're just going to put the red rhinestones right underneath those stars. Oh, I had some right here. Okay, and this little project is all set. Ta-da! Okay, how fun is that? All right, now for the big one. Okay, let me clean my space just a little bit because it's going to take us a couple minutes on this one. Okay, here's our project. Let's get our bees out of the way so I've got some room here. Let's get those over there. All right, I'm going to scoot this. I'll pull it back in so you have the host code. All right, so here's our wooden arrow. Again, I got these at the Dollar Tree. Super simple. Take that off the back. Nobody needs to see that. All right. And so I started and I used the checks and dots embossing folders. Hard to see those on the screen, but that's what I used. And I did the dots on the basic white. We're just going to glue that right onto here. And I'm going to go ahead and use the green glue, or Tombow Multi-Purpose for the official name. Okay. And we are just going to stick that right onto here. Uh-oh. My other ones are a little bit wider. This one, I apparently grabbed one of the wrong ones, so it's a little narrow, but that's okay. It'll still work fine. All right. Before I do the red stripes, I have a piece of Pacific Point that I've used the checks embossing folder. Okay. So I'm going to turn this upside down onto the Pacific Point. I'm lining, let's see, we got to move up here a little bit. Okay. I'm putting the edge of the cardstock with the edge of the arrow on both sides here. And then we're just going to trace around it with a pencil. Your piece, when you get it, will be embossed, but you're going to have to trace the arrow. And then you're just going to take your paper snips, because I missed that edge a little bit, and trim it. If you want, you can glue it on first and then trim it, but around wood to me is a little bit hard to do. Okay. And then I'm going to turn it, oops. And then we should be able to glue it right on and have it fit. Okay. So now we're going to put our green glue, and you really want to make sure that you're getting pretty close to the edges so that you don't have floppy edges on it. The green glue allows you to slide it a little bit, and then you want to use really good pressure on all of it to make sure that it's all stuck down. Whoops. You know what? And I did that wrong. You don't want to put that down yet, because you want to be able to cover up the edges of these red ones. Sorry. So we are going to put glue on our red strips. We have 3 of them. And we are just going to, there's 1. I probably should have started in the center, but instead I will do each edge, and then I'll put the center one on. Your bottom edge, you want to make sure that you're even there, and that way if it goes over a little bit at the top, it's okay. All right, and then our last one is going to go right in the center. And then let's add some more glue since I took it off. Make sure it sticks good. Okay. All right. Then we have lots of little pieces to be able to decorate. There's no stamping on this at all. I used the painted labels dies. I used the swirl, and I used the label, and I used the little swirly strip. Okay. So let's pull our stuff all in here. So here's my swirl. That's going to kind of go right in the center. And then there's my label. That's going to go over the top of it. Whoops. All right, and then I used the stitched stars, and I used this big long swirly. I cut 2 in basic white and save all the little stars that come out of it. Yeah, and this is fun. Okay, there's an end. You got all these little scrollies, and they like to gather together. Okay, so keep the stars. There's 5 of them that punch out. Okay, and so then this went underneath the big swirl here. And then I turned and did the other one out the other side like that. Okay, I cut a big blue Pacific Point star with the stitched stars. That's going to go in between the 2 layers like that. All right, and then we have this little swirl strip, and so I put a layer of glue along that edge, and then we're going to stick it onto the bottom of the label. This is where your silicone sheet comes in handy again. Scoot that up a little bit. Okay, and so it's going to go right onto the bottom edge of that label. Like that. All right, then let's see, where did I put over here? On the happy and on the 4, I used adhesive sheet onto the back of my cardstock. So you just cut the size you want, you peel the backing off, and then you just attach it to your cardstock. And the happy I cut from Word Wishes, and the 4 I cut from Playful Alphabet. So you just run it through the die machine, and you end up with a sticker. Okay, and so we're going to peel the backing off from the happy, and we're going to stick that onto our label like that. Okay, and then we have some stars. I cut a larger star, and then I cut a smaller star with this to go over the top of it. So we are going to grab our glue dot right in the center there. And then it's going to line up. Let's get it up here so you can see. Okay, it's going to line up right inside of the stitched lines on the little bit larger star so that you get the double layer. Isn't that cool? Okay. All right. Let's see. This one. Oh, you know what? I cut too big of a star on that. Let's find the correct star. That would be, it's actually the same star I used. All right, so give me a minute. I'm going to grab my little mini cut and emboss machine so we can fix that. Okay. And here's the little mini. See if we can't get it up in here. And then we want our platforms. We're going to put our star onto there and our die onto there. And then our plate over the top. Give it a start, and the camera's going to shake a little bit. Tried to have those all cut out for you ahead of time, but All right, there's the size we want. All right, let's get this back out of the way. But I love how handy that is to have right on my workstation. Okay. So our 4, we're going to peel the backing off from that. And that's going to go on our star. Like that. Okay. And then it's just time to start assembling. So let's get this pulled back in here. Okay, you can see that. And then I took this same die and I ran it through Pacific Point and Real Red so that I could get those star inserts. It was a faster way to get the stars than it was to find the little stars and cut those, okay? Because then you'd have to do multiples. So it was just faster this way. And so, where's my dimensionals? All right, so what I did is I put a dimensional here, and I stuck the edge of that to it, and then I did it again here, and I stuck the edge to it, and then I did top and bottom on here because the sides are going to hit here. So we're going to take the swirl and we're going to attach that. Okay, and then we're going to use dimensionals again on this piece. So I put it in all 4 corners, and then again, actually before we do that, don't put one in the top left corner. We're going to tuck the star underneath the edge of that. Okay, so you're going to put it on the other 3 corners and the middle so that it doesn't sink in. One more. Okay, and then we're just going to put it right over the top of the swirl. We're going to take our star and we're going to put one, you know what, I'm going to do it here. And then I'm going to take some minis. Okay, we're going to tuck it under a little bit in between the layers. And then we're going to attach it there. And then I'm going to put one under that arm. And then I'm going to put one under this arm up here. Okay, and I want one more under there, wherever there's loose so that it holds it down. Okay, we're going to pull our glue dots in and we're going to take a little red star and we're going to attach it to the big red or the big blue star. Okay, and then we're going to take a medium star and we're gonna, oh, come on. We're gonna stick that up here. We're gonna take our 4 star and we're gonna put a dimensional and we're gonna stick that like over here in the corner. And then we're gonna take a little blue one. And we're going to stick that onto here. And then we're going to tuck that over there. Okay. We're getting there. Now we're going to take a bigger white one. And we're going to stick it over here on the point. And then a medium one. And we're going to stick that like here. And then a little one. And we're going to put that down here. And you just hang on to all the little stars that come out because you can just add them pretty much anywhere you want or on any of the other projects also. Okay. And we're going to put another white one right there. Okay, now we are going to take this double layered one that we did and put a dimensional on it, and we're going to add that right over here. Okay, then what I did, and I probably should have done it a little different, but that's okay, we'll make it work. Okay, we're going to cut a strip because I want a little bit more than a mini. Not a lot, but a little. And we are going to tuck this. All right, see if I can keep my fingers out of the camera. We're going to tuck this back into one that it came out of. And this bigger one we're going to put over here. There we go. Okay. And then I should have done this before we started. Just put a piece of dimensional so that it hits the white and the blue. Okay, so we're going to stick that down, and then we're going to do the same thing with the red one. And it looks like, no, I don't have the right one. I got the big ones. Okay, that's why I said hang on to your stars. Okay, there we go. That one will go in there. Okay, so we're just going to tuck that one back in there, put a dimensional on it to help hold it in place so that it overlaps the white a little bit also. All right, it's going to be a pistol for me here. Bear with me. We'll get it. Promise. Okay, so let's do it like this. You just got to fit it back in there and then get your dimensional. There we go. There's a good spot. Okay, stick that down. Let's see if we can get another red one in over here. We might not be able to because we should have done that a little sooner, but we can get a red one over here. There we go. So let's get, that worked pretty good. So let's stand it upside down and hold it in place. It's really not this hard, I promise. Okay, get your dimensional in there to cover it. There we go, look at that. Yay. All right. You know what? Let's just add another. What did I do with my glue dots? Since we can't get another red one over there, let's just add one there. Okay, and then using some of our red rhinestones, let's go ahead and add a red one there, and then we'll add a red one over here. All right, and then I also used the holiday rhinestones. And we're going to put one right in the center of our star. And then my regular rhinestones. And we're just going to add one here. And you know what? Let's add one there. Whoops. Okay. I think we are good. So, like I said, you have leftover star pieces. You can add more onto here if you want to, but you are all set. Hang that thing up on your wall and you are good to go. Quick and easy. just kind of playing with the pieces. Like I said, and you saw, attach these onto the back before you set them down onto there. It will go on a whole lot easier. Okay, so let's pull this back in. Okay, so place an order by 7 o'clock Wednesday night, June 23rd, using this host code, and I will send you the kit with the wooden arrow, all of the cutouts. I will send you the kit for the candy holder, minus the candy, because it will be melted and ruin the cardstock, and the card pieces, and in an envelope so that it's all together nice and neat. Okay, so you just assemble. Again, I used the Create with Friends stamp set for the Let's Celebrate and the Happy Day. If you don't have that one, obviously you can order that as part of your $35 order. Otherwise, you can stamp whatever greetings that you want onto there, but you will be all set for the 4th of July. Okay, happy stamping. Join me again next Monday night. I will get the sound figured out so that everybody can hear and I'm not all garbled. Okay, thanks. Happy stamping.